All right, guys, welcome back to the Knives Fast channel. We're going to do a quick overview on 4 fancy knives from Kansept and Tuya slash Vortex. Now, 2 of these knives you've already seen on the channel. This one in this exact form came from our friend Big Jim. This is the Tuya Keras in the integral titanium and the copper carbon fiber with the black blade here, DLC. Very nice on this one. I gave it a really good review, so I will link that review down below and you can check it out. These are still available. 10% off with code KNIVESFAST at checkout. There's a link down below. I also reviewed a version of the Kansept Caveman. It was a full tie one, so it's interesting to see this different guy here. This is the Caveman with, I think, the Toxic or Gecko, one of those two. I don't know which one it is. You have a black wash blade in 20 CV, and you have titanium. A big beast of a knife. My complaint on this one is that the thumb studs are a little too far down and you got to choke way down to get to them. But other than that, this knife is fantastic. And I believe if they ever make a version 2, Jesse Pauly, who's the designer, has said we need to back this stud up. Really aggressive jimping, really good in the hand. And by the way, same thing on the Kansept Keras. Fantastic in the hand, great ergos right here with the thumb. Fantastic knives all around. Now, we're going to show these in our comparisons at the end, but as far as reviews, they've been done. So I will link them below, and you can check it out. Don't forget Kansept, you know, Thunderhead, Caveman, or Eagle Strike, or any Kansept knife. You can use code KNIVESFAST at checkout for 10% off. And don't forget the Thunderhead, my design. And by the way, how about that ginormous sticker now for Knives Fast? Love it. Okay. Which one do we want to do first? Let's do the Kansept Eagle Strike. Now, the Eagle Strike is a bar lock, okay? This, I believe, is a James Lowe design. It is the Eagle Strike. It is in S35. You have kind of a drop point with a massive swedge. And you guys know I talk about this all the time. I love a swedge. And the reason is exactly that. It glides through material because it just comes off the back side of that swedge and all good at that point. It is fantastic. Now, this one is thumb studs. You know how I feel about bar locks in that it's not going to be as snappy as a ball detent. It does sort of have a detent, but it's mostly held in place by the spring. Now, this one is tuned pretty dang well. It's not bad at all. It's on bearings and washers. Race washers, comes all the way out to the end. You can see here, we actually have, interestingly enough, if you look at this, it's a titanium knife, but it appears to have steel liners. And I believe that steel liners, full steel liners, which are milled out, by the way, so they shouldn't be bad for weight, are to support the bar lock, okay? Because that apparently can't, in this case, they don't want it to ride on the titanium. Now, pokey blade, nice and thin on this one. By the way, 4-finger grip. You got a thumb ramp and jimping. You can't really come up here because it's thin because of the swedge, but that is perfect for me. 4-finger grip feels really nice in the hand, and you saw it cut. No blade play, no lock rock, dead center, feels locked up very nicely with that bar lock. Very cool. Now, if we look at this guy, by the way, the Kansept, this is the Eagle Strike, of course. I forgot to tell you the Caveman version we're looking at here is $249, okay? And there is your size comparison. And this Eagle Strike, this version is $169.89. Again, 10% off with code KNIVESFAST. Now, to get the Caveman out of the way for a minute, the Eagle Strike has 3 versions that are all available. 8.36 inches overall with a 3.73 inch blade. 0.118 for the stock. It is, they call it a Warncliffe. I don't see that. I see a spear point to me or a drop point, but okay. Black wash titanium, 5.27 ounces, designed by James Lowe, made by Kansept, S35 VN Steel. Again, all Kansepts, code Knives Fast. Everything in this video, if you get them at Tuya, code Knives Fast. If you get them at Kansept, code Knives Fast. That'll get you 10% off. Now, let's look at the Tuya, the Vortex Model 2. Now, why is the Vortex Model 2 for sale on Tuya's website? And that's where you'll find it, because Tuya is the OEM and Vortex is a separate company, but didn't really have their own place to sell knives. And so that's where they're being sold in the U.S. at Tuya Knife. Dave over there takes care of that site, does a great job. Now, this is an integral, which, you know, we talked about the Keras. Integral. This is a thinner integral, doesn't have scales on top, and it is contoured. And this is my favorite use of crystallized tie I've seen. This light blue with this silver crystallized wow, Casey, clip. You do have, by the way, I forgot to show that on the Eagle Strike. You do have a bit sticking out of the pocket, internally screwed pocket clip. It is not reversible and does not have a lanyard hole. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. No lanyard hole here, no reversible clip on the Vortex, contoured integral scales or handle, integral handle. It is a frame lock with a lock bar insert, which is really awesome. You can see we're locked up at about 30. No lock rock, no blade play. I would call this a Persian blade style with this belt satin on the blade. I believe this is M390. We'll check. There is your pivot service area. You take that off. You put that little panel pops off. And I like how they accented that. That's really cool. Now, we have a 4-finger grip. I will say you feel the clip right in here. And you feel this thin spot right there. Now, you do have your external lock bar cut out, which works and is smooth, but right there, that little hump, I'm feeling that in my hand just a little bit, but you can relax around it. Now, how does this guy cut? Very nicely indeed. Whoops. If I can actually hold the cardboard still, you can see it's resisting a little because it is flat ground and it is a short flat ground. So it is not quite as thin as some of these other knives we've been looking at. You do have a nice taper towards the tip, but still pretty robust. Now, no blade play, no lock rock, locked up well, comes out dead center all the way out. Good detent, and you can see we're on bearings. Very nice detent and feels great in the hand. Now, these are all, by the way, I did this on the other one, the Tuya Keras are $3.99. Again, 10% off with code Knives Fast. The Vortex Model 1 is also $3.99, and there's a bunch of versions left. You get to pick your color. There's a bunch left. They can, at the time I'm recording the video, and you can use code Knives Fast for 10% off. Now, as far as the Keras, it is 7.75 inches overall with a not the Keras, I'm sorry, the Vortex Model 2. Wow. I'm probably saying Vortex Model 1. I'm probably saying all kinds of stuff. But the designer for Vortex is Endo Chin. He's also the owner. I got to meet him at Blade Show. Nice dude. 4.1 ounces. Crystal tie. Integral. 7.75 inches overall with a 3.35 inch blade. Again, $400. And yes, I know I'm rushing through it, but this is a good way to show you 4 knives without taking up a ton of time. So there is the Vortex Model 1 against the Tuya Keras. Here is the Eagle Strike against that and the Caveman. There are our 4 knives. Now the question is, can we fit the Tempest Microburst, which is 7 inches, and the Tempest Pinion, which is 8 inches. You can see we're right there, just kind of in that size range, if you will. Here is a larger knife, the Ontario Rat 1. You can see the Rat 1 seems to be about the same as the Caveman and the Eagle Strike, maybe a little bit longer. No, about the same. And then the Rat 2 is going to be smaller than everything here. So those are your models. Thanks to to Tuya, to Vortex, to Kansept for sending these to Lefty, and Lefty for putting them in the pass around group. And I'm going to be getting them onto the next channel. So guys, thank you so much for your incredible support. Thank you for watching. Definitely let me know what you think of these down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to all. And thanks for watching the Knives Fast channel.